Hey everyone, James from Merchant Spring here for another episode of Marketplace Masters, where we bring you insights from industry leaders around the world. Aaron, thank you very much for joining me. I really know you're a busy guy, seeing your schedules on LinkedIn. So I do appreciate your time. So why don't you start by telling us a bit about you and what you do in the Amazon space?
Yeah, approximately 10 years ago, I joined a company, built a brand from about $1 million a year to $15 million in just 5 years. Did that majority on Shopify and Amazon, but it was also omni-channel with all the big box stores, other e-commerce stores, everything, distributors, the whole bit. But in the end, the last 5 years of the business, it was Amazon 90%, 80, 90%. The company was sold about 3 years ago. I had to sign a non-compete in order to get my hit the road package. And I got a 6 months severance package. If I signed that, I did, but I couldn't touch the technology I've been working in for about over 10 years. So picked up the next best thing, which was Amazon. Started my own Amazon store, golf accessories. Quickly hit six figures, feeling confident. I reached out to a friend. I put their binocular accessories on Amazon, hit six figures again. 2.5 years, almost 3 years later, I have basically a boutique consulting agency. I have about 15 to 20 brands that I represent at any given time, from head to toe. These are literally products from your head, and from hair pomade to shoe cleaner, head to toe. What's very unique about what I do and how I do it is I do not outsource. I do everything from A to Z inside that Amazon system, from white box photography to white box videos, to all the listings, to all the advertising management. I don't have, outside of Merchant Spring, I do not have other software that I outsource my work to, or my system to. So I learned that was pretty unique at Prosper a few weeks ago. I just call it hard work and experience for myself, but that's what I do, man.
No, that's fantastic. It's certainly very interesting about keeping it all inside your own business. Yeah. So it brings me to my next question. Given that you do all of this, you are the expert, you run the whole show. Time is obviously very important. So where do you get the most return on time when you're working on a Amazon store, for example?
Yeah. Every minute of focus is on what can I do to maximize sales, to increase sales generation, whatever I could do for that, because sales will cure all and everything. And that could be from, sales, and then profits. Profits a very important one right after that. So they kind of go hand in hand. How can I increase sales? Through advertising. Cool. Is my advertising profitable? No, stop it. And my sales are going good. Do I have enough inventory? No, slow down sales until I get more inventory. I have no sales at all. What do I need to do? Revamp the listing, SEO, keywords, pictures, competition. What do I need to do it? That is kind of my bread and butter. As long as those green numbers on Merchant Springs ticking in the right way, I know I'm good. I'll move on to a different brand or a different product in the brand's product line, and keep on turning those numbers green and rinse and repeat all day long.
Interesting. It's but I'm assuming those examples you provided kind of vary from brand to brand that you work with. Like, for example, one might focus on PPC more, or another you might get more return on your time with the SEO stuff. Would that be correct in saying that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously supplements are way more challenging to move than say another unique product with less competition on it. But the end game's all the same, right? So it's sometimes if it's a product that's easy to low competition, advertising's easy. Just set up a couple auto campaigns, a couple branded campaigns, and rock and roll, and then you need to focus on something else. But if it's supplements, and man, you better make sure that your listing's dialed in, your keywords are dialed, everything's dialed in, and then you spend a lot of time on PPC management, just finding the right profitable keywords. Yeah, you could grab a word for vitamin D and pay $20 on it, but when your product's selling for $16, it's not a very good investment. So
yeah, interesting. Yeah, very good contrast. So I just wanted to ask you the inverse of that, right? With obviously so many things you can do on Amazon, what do you find is the biggest time drain? To put it in a more simple terms, where do you get the least return on your time spent with Amazon?
Yeah, I tell you what, it's what I do, and starting out with a couple customers, and then I'm pretty much maxed out right now, unless a customer drops off. I don't usually add another one. And I have to be good at the things that suck, and so I focus on always improving the process. And one perfect example of that is flat file uploads. I am going to be a master at flat file uploads very soon. You know why? Because I'm kicking it 10,000 times a day on that one subject right now. That is eating my lunch. Is when a title gets stuck, bullet points aren't updating, another issue. I am pulling out all the stops. I am going to be excellent at flat file uploads. And the only way you can do it is you just got to do it 8,000 times, maybe 10,000 times, and be good at. That's one thing. The other stuff is I've learned through my time from my 10,000 kicks of this game is preventative. I know what's gonna shut down a listing. I know what keywords are gonna shut down a listing. I know what pictures are gonna shut down a listing. Is learn what not to do because I screwed it up in the past, and make sure that doesn't happen again. And every new list or every new brand I take on or new listing or whatever, they stay up. That's not going to be my problem. But it's when I take on an account that has problems, past problems, and that's the it spent a lot of time on it. And really when it's that level, flat file uploads is the biggest one. Cases and writing cases and all that other stuff, they're not too bad. 3 to 7 cases sometimes to fix something. But flat file uploads, man, it's eating my lunch. But I will get back at it.
I think I'm gonna put that as the starting title for this video: flat file uploads. I guess moving on to my next question, Aaron. How do you see Amazon selling evolving over the next 12 months? I mean, what changes do you foresee?
It's just going to get tougher. It's going to get tougher, more complicated. Advertising is a perfect example. There's about 8,000 different ways to advertise now, of all the new beta that they keep on rolling out and all the other metrics on there. I think people can get buried in data way too much. And if you have a product on there and if you did all the basics right, all the fundamentals, Amazon right, pictures, videos, content, all that other stuff, and it's not selling, you have to go to CPC, and you need to get a CPC to kick it off. Well, what metric are you going to use for CPC? And in what column? There's 8,000 columns now and everything else. So the competition's tougher. There's more data. Not enough people know what to do with it. And unless you've got in here and live it and breathe it and are a seller yourself and screwed up a bunch of times and learned, it's just going to keep on getting tougher and more complicated.
Interesting. So just on the point of complication and tougher, like one of the other interviewees said, their answer was, we're going to see Amazon selling become more professional because it is getting tougher and more complicated. Do you see that? Do you foresee that sellers will be leaning on people like yourself and consultants and agencies a lot more as things become tougher and more complicated?
I see a bifurcation coming up pretty soon. And the reason, perfect example was this week. This week, 3 of my seller accounts, including my own, basically a policy violation was kicked over it was exactly the same one 3 times. It was a policy violation for a product that has not been sold in over a year. It was either a keyword or an ingredient violation. And I just turned the product off, turned it off, which you're supposed to when you're not selling it anymore. And Amazon's not supposed to index it anymore. Nope. They indexed all the product that's been on there, added 3 different case files on it, 3 different counts. They filed it, flagged it, and moved it from fair to, warning label on it. They called my other two accounts saying, hey, we're going to shut you down if you don't fix this. They called me, and I'm like, I have to listen to it. I know exactly what to do, but I have to be respectful and listen to it. And I did it. And that was a sign right there. Amazon's coming down hard. I think they're going to kick off. They're trying to kick off all the basically the sellers, the side hustle sellers. They want them off of there. If they don't know how to play this game, they want them out of there. They want professional sellers that know how to play this game and know what to do. Why? Because it's better for Amazon, because overall quality of listings and customer service and everything else are better. If you're just a side hustle seller, your pictures suck, your listings suck, Amazon doesn't want that. So I see them in overall upgrading on trying professional sellers. And yeah, they have to go somewhere. If, usually if you're a professional seller, you know what you're doing. You could probably outsource a few parts of it, but you're pretty savvy. I think it's the brands, the new to Amazon brands that know that they have a good product that sells. They just know they need help on Amazon and don't even want to try it because of stupid little violations. They freak out. This one brand was calling me like, we're going to get shut down. We're going to get shut down. I'm like, that's the first violation your account has ever had in 7 years. I think you're going to survive this one. But for them, it was the end of the world because I got on their account, built it up a lot. They were really happy with it and they were worried about sales. I'm like, this will be okay.
Yeah, no, interesting. I think your clients are very, very lucky to have you, Aaron. Like, you're so on top of all of it, and being focused on driving sales, like you said earlier. I think that's great, because I think a lot of there's a lot of people out there that perhaps have a different view on how to manage Amazon. But yeah, your clients very lucky to have you, man.
Thank you.
My next question: we're coming into September. Right. This is the entry point to peak season, as you of all people most definitely know. It's different to last year. So, the timing of certain events, let's say, are different because of COVID and all that. So coming into this point in the year in peak season, what keeps you up at night? And what is a very specific tip that you can give to the listeners?
I keep on harping on this one on LinkedIn and stuff. Fundamental Amazon business is what people don't do enough of. And I sleep very well at night for all my accounts because I know I'm doing the fundamental business I can on Amazon. And that's make sure your listing is not search suppressed. Hello? That one's easy. Log in and look. Make sure your listing's not search suppressed. Make sure you have all your 7 pictures, 5 bullet points, description. And if you have, branded, if you're A+ content in the store, make sure you have all that stuff. Make sure you answer your questions on time. But what does keep me up at night is inventory. Make sure you have inventory. Now, but inventory is getting a little tighter with inventory limits and everything else. Well, what keeps me up at night is not my worry about inventory, but hey, client A, B, and C, we're doing great. I need 1,000 more or something. We just had our limits. Oh, well, yeah, we didn't have it in production for a while. So it's going to be 8 to 12 weeks because we thought we had enough at Amazon. I'm like, but I've been sending you a report every Monday at 8:30 a.m. on where exactly we're at. I guess we haven't been reading that. So, but what keeps you up is inventory, and it's not usually on my lead time. It's on my customer's lead time because I'm very aggressive on the Amazon side. Whatever my max limit is, I am sending something in every day or every other day. I don't care if it's 10 units, 5 units. I want to keep to the top of that inventory limit. Why? Because if you're there and you keep selling products, guess what? It keeps on going up, and I keep on packing it full. And then every now and then it'll dip down. So I have 5,000 units in there, and it said, "Oh, you're only at 3,000 now." That's fine. I have 2,000 extra units because there was a moment in time I could send in more. So inventory, because that's sales, right?
Yeah, no doubt for sure. And I just want to ask one final question, Aaron, and dig a bit more into the inventory side of things. So down here in Australia, people are saying, I can't get, inventory's taking too long to get here, or, the cost of getting it here is now 6 times what it used to be. Or they're saying, I can't get enough storage capacity in Amazon or whatever. Like, how do you approach that? I mean, you just mentioned that, you see your capacity go down a little bit, you send more, whatever. So how do you, what's the broader strategy you're doing to kind of optimize that part of the business?
Yeah, I could probably answer that all 3 questions in one. Focus on what sells the best. What sells the best? I don't care if you have 20 SKUs. I know that 3 of them sell the best. 80-20. No one outpaces 80-20. Focus on where your revenue is. Focus on where your profits are. Start with that one. Okay. Stuff's taking a long time to get there. Big frickin' deal. If your stuff's light, send it by boat 2 ways. Send it by air 3 ways. Get your stuff there. It's called dollar cost averaging on your price per unit. Yeah, you may eat another 10% on your margin, but you're not going to lose sales by running out. Figure it out. Put it on airplanes more often. Put it on boats as much as you can. Stack that 20-foot container. Get it there. Stop complaining that you can't get any, because this didn't happen yesterday. This has been going on for about 18 months. And if you've been in the game longer than that, this stuff happened, like when the tariff and embargoes and all that other stuff. My previous company was in electronics. Like this happens all the time. It's called poor planning and sitting around complaining too much. There's ways of getting it there. There's many ports in many countries and continents that accept stuff. Send them in on a port, put them on a train. Find that freight forwarder or that 3PL that's a little bit more creative than you are. Get it there 10 different ways. Yeah. Go to the bank, take a line of credit, get more inventory, do it. It'll all end up at the same place. You're going to have some increased fees. Maybe you can increase your price a little bit depending on your competition. Focus on your best sellers. And then for Amazon restocks the same way. Just keep it filling up. Focus on the top 3, keep that full, keep that going. If that's full and done, it's a 3PL, put them in a 3PL, set up for FBM, fulfillment by merchant, and keep on going. That's all you can do.
No, great. It's very practical. Look, I think this, as you probably know, Amazon is still relatively new here. So someone is grappling with some of the kind of parameters of dealing with it. But look, I'm glad you didn't say put it on a kangaroo, because I think one of the previous interviewees had to throw a kangaroo option in there. So anyway,
if it works, do it, right? There is a pouch there, so I guess capacity would be limited, but.
Oh man, look, thank you very much, Aaron. I think you've definitely kind of supercharged this interview for sure, and shared some great insights, especially to those down here in Australia or in other newer Amazon markets as well. So thanks for your time, and I'm actually really looking forward to having you come back and perhaps after the peak season to kind of do a bit of a review.
I'm ready anytime. I do this all day. Nice seeing you off of LinkedIn. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.